Mayor Tony Baldwin. Vice Mayor Phil Costner.
Here.
Alderman John Bug.
Here.
Alderman Freddie Gregg. Here. Alderwoman Kathy Hope.
Here.
Alderman Kenny Morgan.
Here.
City Attorney Terry Hurst.
Here.
Vice Mayor, we do that for him, so.
I have a motion to approve of minutes of previous meetings of the regular session of March 13th, 2012, and also a special call meeting March 21st, 2012. I have a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Report, proclamation of recognition of citizens of the mayor, for the recognition of city employees.
Chief Short.
I did this two months in a row.
Under information there, so.
The employee of the month for this past month will be Lieutenant Terry Lawson of the Newport Police Department. Terry, if you will come up. Terry served this position of lieutenant. He has been in charge of a shift, and Terry's always good whenever we need somebody to rotate shifts or whatever. He's always been good to move shifts, and he's filled in wherever we need him. And I'm honored to be able to hand him this plaque on behalf of the city of Newport, present him with the Employee of the Month award and a small token.
Well, I take that one.
It's going too long now, Holmes.
It's getting weird. I got a little closer like that.
I have the correspondence report of the city administrator, Scott.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to announce that we have a budget schedule for the fiscal year 2012-2013 after our workshops and everything, which the date will be announced on them. We hope to have the first reading on June 12th, publish it in the local newspaper on June 16th, and have the second final reading on June 26th. We will have a workshop scheduled throughout the end of April and May to work that out. The next item to announce is Tim Dockery was contacted today. There's going to be a meeting on April 19th with an official from TDOT, and they are going to give us the notice to proceed on the safe routes and school roads, which means we'll be able to go to bid, followed up by construction, and tell these to try to construct while around the school while school's out of session for the summer. Another bit of good news, we received notification today that the Surface Transportation Program from TDOT, which is funding the Downtown Signalization Program, the bid has been awarded in the amount of $391,225.97 by TDOT, awarded to Stansell Electric Company. And I don't have the construction schedule yet, but the award of the bid is a big first step, and hopefully our downtown signalization will be underway very soon. And while I'm in Nashville, I'll get a definitive timeline. The last thing to report on is we are working on Showcase on the River.
Scott, can I have a comment to that?
Yes, sir.
When you're in Nashville, would you make sure that they understand that the traffic for Wolf Creek and all that stuff, that we don't make that any worse than it is when the traffic downtown or any of the stuff that happens with that?
Yes, sir. And the last thing to report, Showcase Showcase on the River is tentatively set for the third weekend in August. That date could change pending a headline entertainment that we're working on. But the Veterans Chamber this year in God, Family, and Country is going to honor the greatest generation, our World War II veterans. And Mr. Mayor, that's all I have.
Thanks, John. Number 6, appoint boards, commission, committee. I have a motion to set Ray Piper for the equalization board.
I agree, thank you. Pretty much agree.
Number 7, in report to committee, members of council, that officer, have anything before? Okay, no old business. Okay, no new business. Second reading of ordinance 2012 type 02, City of Newport budget. Second.
Vice Mayor, I might read that into the record. The title of it is ordinance number 2012-02. It's an ordinance to amend the City of Newport's budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2011 and ending June 30th, 2012.
Make a motion for it.
All right, approves of that. Any nays? The second is the first reading of ordinance number 2012-03, City of Newport budget amendment.
Vice Mayor, that's ordinance number 2012-03, an ordinance to amend the City of Newport's budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2011 and ending June 30th, 2012.
Make a motion.
Second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Okay, C, discussion of engineer contract. You need a comment on this, Tom?
Mr. Vice Mayor, as we discussed at the workshop, and we gave it to our city attorney for review, arguably, this contract could bind us to one specific engineer for every single project we do. And the recommendation is to allow flexibility to get expertise for various type of jobs and to discontinue this particular contract.
We'll have that form of motion to just continue this engineer contract. And I have that.
I'll make
Make a motion. I have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. The discussion of environmental bid for, sorry about that, I'll skip one. The discussion of Newport utilities in lieu of tax payment. You want to comment on that?
Mr. Vice Mayor, this is a basic item, and it is a procedure we go through normally in June. However, Nicholas Kramer has requested payment in May. That's the reason we need to bring it to the board's attention to authorize it to be paid in May instead of June.
Is this normally carried out from June 30th to July 1st to June 30th of next year? That's, you know what I'm saying, is that 611,000 or whatever?
It's in this year's budget.
But the money that we get from utilities this year
We're paid
is
this
for
year's
this
grant.
budget.
Yes, sir.
And then next year's budget, it'll come out in June of next year. Okay.
Everybody understand?
I was thinking we're a year behind there, kind of the way it's looking. I'll make a motion.
I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Excuse me, sir, who's second?
Okay. Okay, discussion of environmental bid with respect to the Tanner Cultural Center.
Mr. Vice Mayor and Board, we would simply like to get the board's permission to do a request for qualifications and get a qualified environmentalist to come in and tell us exactly what needs to, how to clean up the Tanner building. And we just need the board's approval to proceed with getting an expert.
All in favor, say aye.
Question.
No.
Do we have any idea what this may cost?
On the for the study and specs, it ranges roughly from estimates from 2,000 to 11,000, depending on the various companies.
I'll make a motion to approve this, to come back to the table for the money.
Can we not just approve it up to $5,000?
Well, he's got the right.
That's what I'm saying, let him make that decision. There's no-
Then anything over that, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
If it exceeds $5,000, bring it
Come back
back
to the vote.
I got that form motion, Mr. Craig, I have a second.
Awesome.
Second, Mr. Moore. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, consent agenda, go, 2, 3, 4, roadblocks. When you read, Disabled American Veterans, 5/5/2012, Boys and Girls Club, 6/2/2012, and Alzheimer's for Tennessee, 9/8/2012, and the East Tennessee Baptist Association, 5/6/2012.
That D's a parade from them, roadblock.
Oh, sorry about that. Skip that, I have no discussion on the roadblocks.
Do we need to discuss these?
Yeah, that's what.
But I might help that now, just roadblocks right now, that's a parade.
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we approve the A, B, and C of that.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it. Okay, parade permit, that's one I missed, the only thing. The East Tennessee Baptist Association, 5/6/2012. Anybody here represent them? And what is that parade?
It's very simply we involved, or attempted to involve all churches. And we simply want to have a parade from the courthouse up to the football stadium and have a program up there. We are opposed to the drug use and abuse of alcohol and stuff like that. Several people will be wearing shirt like this, indicating that we are against abuse of alcohol and drugs. And we are putting prayer into action. We believe that our Heavenly Father has the power to do anything that we can't do. We've got some great law enforcement people, they're doing a great job. But until the power of God comes down and overshadows Newport, we're going to continue to have the problem. So we just want to call everybody's attention to this fact and call them to prayer. And as we are marching, we're going to be praying for the city of Newport as well as the county of Cobb County.
Thank you.
So, is there anything going on that weekend that would interfere with you?
Not that I know of. I got in touch with you early, we agree to work with them any way we can, and they've come forward to get that parade. We'll be glad to have coordinated with them, to try to get them safely as possible.
It's gonna be more of a marching type parade.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion, I'll approve it.
Okay.
The city will waive the fee on the permit.
I'll make that part of the motion in a second, so we waive the fee.
Oh, yeah.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you for waiving that. We were prepared to pay it, but we appreciate it.
That's my reason. Okay, this evening, we'll have a bid to purchase. Any comments or citizens? Anybody like to comment? Speak, stand, speak, please. Or vote for the microphone.
Yeah, I'm walking along the Big Daddy's Blues Club, and conference over that. My hours are open. I have a beer license, I'm legal. And I had 4 officers come there and check all my paperwork, and I'm legal. I don't see no reason why I can't stay open just like the rest of the place. Just because I have 6 pool tables, I mean, they're considered a pool hall, and I close it. I would open at 7 a.m., close at 10 p.m. that just put me out of business, it just put me out of business, now I'm lost my income, and that right there, I don't do, my income is coming from 6 o'clock to 3 a.m.
I'm sorry, we had a meeting last week.
I wasn't here, I had a stroke, all right, I was in the
I'm
hospital.
sorry to have that, but I wish we had represented, I wish, that's why we had the meeting before, to try to discuss it, and nobody, you or your representative wasn't there, and that's how we go.
I was in the hospital, I had a stroke.
Mike, we still discussed it, we talked about the ordinance itself, and here's the thing, I mean, essentially what came out of it, I believe, was the fact that you're doing 2 or 3 different types of businesses, and essentially, it looks as though you need to be one business instead of 2 or 3, because the standard across the board is if it's a billiard hall, pool hall, whatever, I mean, don't mention the words.
Can I change it into a bar? I'll change it. I just wanna know why I'm already done, if I change it into a lounge or a pub. You know?
If he changes the name of it.
No, we didn't.
Two bars, a pub is the same
There's
thing.
no pool tables.
Yeah, but he has the right to separate it, right?
The ordinance says that they can't be in the same room where the alcohol is served. There has to be a partition separating the alcohol service and the pool tables.
Well, then you better close every one of the bars in town down then, because they got pool tables right in the middle of them.
There's a 3 flags.
3 flags. I'm not flying 3 flags, I'm flying
You're trying to be a private club, a pool hall, and a beer joint. You can't be all 3. You either need to decide if you're gonna be a club, if you're gonna be a beer joint, or if you're gonna be a private club. And if you're gonna be a private club, I need a copy of the charter from the state saying you've applied, received the charter to be a private club. If you're gonna be a bar, then you need to have your beer license and not be a billiards club. And if you're gonna be a pool hall, and you're gonna be a pool hall, we go by the pool hall
Like,
regulations.
can I change my beer license?
It's entirely up to you, reapply for your beer license.
Take it to the beer board,
I have to reapply again?
yes,
Cost me another $350?
whatever the fee is, say, look, if you're gonna change your business,
I lost my house already.
I'm sorry about that.
Now I'm
We have
losing
really-
$36,000 by this right here, but no income. I thought I thought this town wanted somebody to bring company in here, bring business in here. That's what I'm trying to do. But no, you get your feet kicked out the money.
I'm sorry, that's the reason we had a meeting, we told you, we had a meeting.
I'm sorry I couldn't be here. I was in the hospital
Sorry. I mean, we have a meeting, you might show up the next meeting.
Well, that's a month away. When am I gonna do this next month? I gotta close at 10 o'clock?
Yeah, you gotta follow the rules.
According to our charter, you have a food table in that room, it's closed at 10 o'clock. I wouldn't change it if that was 1973, and if you got a food table, you need to close. Matter of fact, that,
Well, you remember those, all these bars are, they all got a pool.
I don't go to bars no way, so it don't matter to me. I mean, I'd just soon I'd close all of them. But I don't go to food, I go to the church, where a lot of people should go. Anyway, that's far in between. But if you got a food table in there, 10 o'clock, folks, I hear, when I've been annexed out towards the.
Okay, what if I change my license?
When that,
Make it a lounge or a bar?
I don't think anybody's arguing that, I don't think people feel, the problem exists is the rules and the ordinances. And either way, Maurice Chief's more familiar with it than any of us, talk to him and see what you can do.
I've never had one problem down there, and I've been there.
And I don't think anybody's accusing you of having a problem. I think what it is you're operating 2 or 3 businesses there, and you're having to use whichever one the law. I mean, if you're a pool hall, you're a pool hall. You go out to close at 10 o'clock. If you're a lounge, I'm sure he can tell you how the license is. I'm sure he can do it legal, but he'll tell you.
Well, I tried to do things legal.
No, I mean, he's not
I
going to
would
legal
have issued my beer
represent.
license if they didn't, they could have told me that. I would have wasted my $350.
I don't think that's their job, Mike. I really don't. I think that if you go in there and ask them for that, that's what they would issue. And that's just my opinion. If you're gonna change your license, then I would go back in front of the beer board and tell them what you're doing. Discuss it with them that way.
Well, I'm sorry. Anybody else?
Is this the section where anyone can comment?
Yes.
I have a question about the town building. I have some concerns I don't want to create hysteria in Newport. But should I be concerned about my health if you all stating or embracing the idea of this environmental issue? I was there from 2007 to July, I mean, not July, excuse me, April of last year when the tornado hit. I mean, what about all the Head Start kids that have been in that building, the senior citizens? Should I worry about having or contacting, contracting mesothelioma or anything like that? I'm really concerned, and if that is the case, will the city be liable?
Terry?
Well, we have insurance, hopefully that would reimburse the city on that. Part of the study hopefully might tell us whether there's some lingering or might be some effect from being in the building. Hopefully all the things we're worried about are a result of the tornado and the water damage that occurred there. But because of the damage, other things that we think may have been exposed.
But this health risk was not there before the tornado.
Well,
Right or wrong?
we don't know
We don't
that.
know.
We don't know.
So a lot of us, from the time I was in school there in the 60s, we could be affected. Am I correct?
Well, yeah, that's true of a lot of older buildings that people have been in.
So I'm correct. If there should be a mass of people that become ill from that, the city will be liable.
Well, I mean, each case would have to be dealt with individually, whether the city was at fault, all those issues would have to be litigated or settled.
Or player.
Yeah.
Anybody else any comments? Any of them, anything anybody bring up? If you have a motion to adjourn?